Hello and welcome to the Prince of Wales pub here in Moseley in Birmingham. I'm here in the beer garden of the Prince of Wales pub and behind me is the Choza shed, and which we believe is unique in Britain. So Keith, is this really unique in Britain?
I think it is, because you do have some places where you can still go and smoke cigars in the UK, but they tend to be very high-end hotels and restaurants in London. This is unique in that it's a pub, it's informal, it's relaxed, yet you can still enjoy one of the finest things in life, you know, handmade Cuban or indeed New World cigar.
So, I mean, you've already there mentioned Cuban cigars. I mean, what type of cigars do you sell here? I mean, do you sell, like, you know, the old Panatella or, you know...
Well, we sell one or two machine-made cigars, which are, you know, quite good value and sometimes a good place to start. But we also we specialise in handmade cigars. A handmade cigar is a proper artisan product. It takes over 200 people to make a handmade cigar. And these vary in price according to their size, their flavour, their quality. So you can get a really great handmade cigar and pay anything between £7-8 all the way up to £50.
So, I mean, is it true that you sell cigars here that, say, Castro or Che Guevara would have smoked?
Well, in fact, this cigar here was, you know, specially made to begin with for Fidel Castro. This Cohiba, you know, he would have smoked those, you know, on many occasions. In Cuba, back in the day, doesn't smoke now. Of course, he's getting on a bit, but that's called Esplendidos, made by Cohiba, and indeed it was a really interesting story. It stems from the time of the CIA and the Cubans being afraid that the Americans were going to try and assassinate him, which indeed they tried to on over 50 occasions, I think. So they took 6 women, expert cigar rollers, put them in a secret location in Havana, and they were the only 6 women allowed to make cigars for Castro. That's because they feared the Americans would hatch a plot to come up with an exploding cigar.
Right, so
so they had them made by these 6 women.
Now, I mean, for someone like myself, I'm a bit of a cigar novice. I mean, is there a difference between smoking a cigar and smoking a cigarette, say?
Well, I tend to think, you know, it sounds a bit pretentious, but I tend to think smoking a cigarette is a habit, basically. You're feeding a habit, an addiction. Cigars, by and large, are not addictive. You don't inhale them. And they're just generally, it's like comparing water with wine. Cigars are very different. People who smoke cigars tend to find it a bit of a hobby rather than a habit, and they get a bit passionate about it. And if you're just starting off, it's quite an easy thing to get into, providing you make the right choice and take a cigar that's not too long, not too strong, and easy to smoke.
So, I mean, like cigarettes, you inhale into your lungs. Do you do that with a cigar?
No, cigars are made out of pure leaf. In a cigarette, you get accelerants, saltpeter, different chemicals. In a cigar, it's just tobacco leaves. So you have to smoke it to keep it going. If you put it down, it'll just go out. Yeah. But it's all about the taste of the tobacco leaves. And that's just simply about taking the smoke into your mouth, rolling it around your tongue and your taste buds, and blowing it out.
So you don't inhale. Do you get different flavours coming out?
You do. You get different flavours. I mean, it's a little bit like wine, you know, depending on whether cigars, whether tobacco leaves are grown, how they're blended, how many years they've been aged, how often they've been fermented. You can get a different range of flavour out of different cigars.
I mean, you mentioned about cigars being just containing tobacco. Are they addictive like cigarettes are?
I've not found them addictive. I mean, I've smoked them for 30 years. I can go weeks without smoking one. I don't get a craving to smoke a cigar. I just it just, you know, I like to have a cigar in the evening. I don't smoke during the day at all.
I think isn't it because there's all chemicals in cigarettes and which.
I think so. I mean, I suppose if you smoke them enough, you might get addicted. I don't really know, but I'm a fairly typical cigar smoker in that I don't chuff away on them all day. When I want to relax, I just have a nice cigar, and that's by and large usually once a day.
And if, like, someone's watching this video now and they've never smoked a cigar in their life, or I mean, could they come in here You know, will you
Yeah, we
help
do.
that?
We do it all the time. A lot of people come in. They're not really cigar smokers, but they're on a night out. They want to relax, enjoy themselves with their friends. And what better way to do that than to have a nice cigar with your drink?
So do you cut the cigar for them?
Yeah, we'll cut it and light it for you. Well, before that, we help you choose something that's appropriate. You know, if you don't smoke cigarettes at all and you don't smoke cigars at all, then you want something nice and light, easy to smoke. You know, probably something that's going to last you about 30 minutes or something like that. That won't blow your head off, or you get a very nice taste from the tobacco and you'll really enjoy it.
And you'll cut it. Do you roast? Is it something called roasting you do, or toasting?
Well, when you light a cigar, what you tend to do is you got to cut the end so you can get the draw, and then what we do is we just toast the end a little bit with the flame. If it's a big cigar, that's just to help us light the cigar. You get something that's nice and fat. It takes a bit of lighting. It's not like a little cigarette. And as I said, there's no accelerant, so it's just tobacco leaf. So you toast it to sort of help it catch a light when you put it in your mouth.
And then we'll, you know, as they smoke, you'll explain to them about you got to roll it in your mouth, and it's not, don't inhale it. You'll explain all that to them.
Yeah, I mean, different people have different techniques. I mean, the technique I use is, you know, a cigar will stay in as long as you give it a toke about once a minute. What I tend to do is I take a short puff followed by a slightly bigger puff. So the short one first heats up the cigar, and then on the second one I get a greater volume of smoke, so I can get more of a taste. So it's a bit like this: you sort of small one followed immediately by a big one. But it's on the second one where I go for the flavour and the taste.
And when is this? If someone wants to buy cigars here, you know, when is the shop open?
Well, the shop's open every Friday and Saturday night from 7 till midnight. During the rest of the week, you can come down to the Prince of Wales and buy a cigar. It might not actually be open, but the bar staff will always open it up for you, and they'll always sell you a cigar, even if it's like 12:05 on a Monday morning. So just come down to the pub, ask at the bar, and they'll let you in. I'm often around in the evenings. I come down around about 8:30, 9 o'clock, smoke a cigar, sit in here. If you come down, then you're welcome to come out and smoke with me. But it's open all the time. The pub's open, basically.
Well, hopefully you found that interesting. We've got lots more videos coming up. Keep an eye out for them on our website, Facebook account and Twitter account. Cheerio!